Welcome back to the channel, tennis fans. Wimbledon has finally arrived, and with it comes the kind of first-round showdown that could shape the entire tournament. While the headlines are dominated by the biggest names in the draw, one match has quietly become one of the most anticipated battles of the opening day. On one side of the net stands one of the fastest-rising stars in women's tennis, Alex Ila of the Philippines. On the other side is an experienced competitor who has already proven she knows exactly how to trouble the young Filipina, Mexico's Renata Zarazúa. This isn't simply another first-round match. It's a collision between momentum and experience, between confidence and composure, between a player chasing history and another determined to stop it before it even begins. And by the time this battle is over, only one of them will continue the dream of lifting the most prestigious trophy in tennis. Few players have experienced a rise as remarkable as Alex Ila over the past year. Not long ago, she was viewed as one of the sport's brightest prospects, a talented young player with enormous potential but still searching for consistency at the highest level. Today, that conversation has completely changed. She isn't entering Wimbledon as a promising youngster anymore. She's arriving as a seeded player, carrying the expectations of millions of fans and the confidence earned through months of outstanding performances. Every tournament she has played this season has added another layer to her development. Her movement has become sharper. Her decision-making has become smarter. Her serve has become more reliable. Most importantly, her belief has reached another level. Champions aren't created overnight. They're built through hundreds of difficult matches, painful defeats, and countless hours spent improving every small detail. Alex Ila has embraced that process. And now she's beginning to see the rewards. The first half of the season gave everyone a glimpse of what was coming. She produced impressive performances against experienced opponents. She refused to back down against higher-ranked players. Even in defeat, she showed remarkable maturity. Instead of allowing losses to damage her confidence, she used them as lessons. Every setback became motivation. Every difficult match became another opportunity to improve. That mentality separates good players from great ones. By the time the tour reached the grass court season, Alex looked like a completely different competitor. She wasn't just playing with confidence. She was playing with purpose. Every point carried intent. Every match looked controlled. And suddenly, people around the tennis world began asking the same question. Could Alex Ila become one of the biggest stories at Wimbledon? Grass courts demand a completely different style of tennis. The rallies are shorter. The ball stays lower after the bounce. Reaction time becomes incredibly important. Players have fewer opportunities to recover once they're pushed out of position. Some athletes spend years trying to master the surface. Others never truly feel comfortable on it. Surprisingly, Alex adapted almost immediately. Her aggressive baseline game became even more dangerous. Her flat backhand skidded through the court with incredible pace. Her forehand consistently forced opponents onto the defensive. Even her movement looked natural. Instead of fighting against the surface, she used it to her advantage. Every victory increased her confidence. Every tournament strengthened the belief that she could become a genuine threat at Wimbledon. Then came Birmingham. That tournament changed everything. Against a field filled with experienced professionals, Alex delivered some of the finest tennis of her career. She served confidently, returned aggressively, attacked whenever opportunities appeared. Most importantly, she remained calm during pressure moments. Several matches could have gone either way. But whenever the situation became difficult, Alex found another level. That's what champions do. They don't always play perfect tennis. They simply play their best tennis when it matters most. Winning the Birmingham title wasn't just another trophy for the collection. It announced to the tennis world that Alex Ila was no longer a promising young player. She had become a serious contender. As impressive as Birmingham was, Berlin provided an even greater challenge. The tournament featured many of the strongest grass court players on the WTA Tour. Every match demanded complete concentration. There were no easy rounds. No comfortable victories. Yet Alex continued proving herself. She defeated experienced opponents. handled pressure with remarkable composure, showed incredible confidence from the baseline, and eventually reached the semifinals. By then, the conversation had completely changed. Commentators stopped talking about potential. They started talking about possibility. Could she make a deep run at Wimbledon? Could she upset one of the biggest names in the draw? Could she become the first Filipina to achieve something truly historic at the All England club? Those questions suddenly felt realistic. Her outstanding performances also transformed her ranking. For the first time in her career, Alex entered Wimbledon as the tournament's number 29 seed. That achievement represented much more than a number beside her name. It was proof that months of hard work had produced consistent results. Being seeded changes the entire atmosphere surrounding a player. Opponents prepare differently. Media attention increases. Expectations become significantly higher. But pressure is the price every successful athlete must pay. Alex understands that. She knows people now expect her to win. She knows millions of fans in the Philippines will be watching every point. Instead of fearing those expectations, she appears ready to embrace them. However, Wimbledon has always been famous for producing unforgettable surprises. Every season, highly ranked players arrive with enormous confidence. Many leave far earlier than expected. The opening round has often become the most dangerous stage of the tournament, because rankings disappear the moment players step onto the court. Reputation means nothing during a tiebreak. Confidence can disappear after one poor service game. Momentum changes within minutes. That's exactly why Alex's opening opponent makes this match so fascinating. Because Renata Zarazúa has already shown she knows how to defeat her. Unlike Alex, Renata's career has been built through persistence rather than headlines. She hasn't enjoyed constant media attention. She hasn't carried the label of future superstar. Instead, she's quietly earned respect through determination and resilience. Every ranking point has required hard work. Every victory has demanded patience. She understands the challenges of life on the professional tour better than most. That experience makes her extremely dangerous. Because experienced players know how to survive difficult moments. They know how to slow matches down. They know how to frustrate opponents. And perhaps most importantly, they know how to win ugly. Renata doesn't need spectacular winners to succeed. She simply needs opportunities. And once those opportunities appear, she rarely lets them slip away. Watching Zarazúa compete is an education in patience. She rarely panics, rarely rushes, rarely gives opponents easy points. Instead, she forces players into uncomfortable situations. One rally becomes 10 shots, then 15, then 20. Eventually, frustration begins creeping into the opponent's mind. Powerful hitters start forcing winners. Simple mistakes begin appearing. Momentum quietly changes. That's exactly the environment Renata wants. She doesn't try to overpower opponents. She slowly breaks their rhythm. She changes the pace, mixes spins, uses angles, keeps every rally unpredictable. It's a style that has frustrated countless aggressive players throughout her career. And Alex knows that better than anyone. Their previous meetings continue to cast a shadow over this matchup. History may not decide the future, but it certainly influences confidence. Renata has defeated Alex before. She understands which patterns have caused problems. She knows how to extend rallies, how to change the tempo, how to force difficult decisions. Meanwhile, Alex enters this match determined to prove she's no longer the same player. She believes she's stronger, smarter, more experienced. The improvements she's made over the past 12 months have been impossible to ignore. But believing you've changed is one thing. Proving it on center court at Wimbledon is something completely different. And that's exactly what makes this opening round clash one of the most intriguing battles of the tournament. Because when these two players finally step onto the grass, rankings won't matter. Predictions won't matter. Only performance will. And by the end of the day, one player will take another step toward Wimbledon glory, while the other's journey will come to an unexpected end. Alex EALA vs Renata Zarazúa Wimbledon 2026 Part 2, Section 1. While Alex EALA enters Wimbledon with confidence at an all-time high, she also understands that grass-court tennis has a reputation for producing surprises. Every Grand Slam begins with hundreds of predictions, but history has shown that rankings don't guarantee victories. The opening round has often become the stage where dreams either begin or suddenly come to an end. That's exactly why this matchup is far more dangerous than it appears. Alex may be the higher-ranked player, but Renata Zarazúa brings something statistics cannot fully measure: experience. She has spent years battling through qualifying rounds, facing higher-ranked opponents, and learning how to stay calm under pressure. Those experiences have shaped her into one of the toughest competitors outside the seeded players. For Alex, the challenge isn't simply hitting bigger shots. The real challenge is staying patient. Against many opponents, her aggressive style immediately creates opportunities. But against Zarazúa, every winner has to be earned. The Mexican rarely gives away easy points. Instead, she extends rallies, changes the pace of the game, and waits for her opponent to become impatient. That strategy has frustrated plenty of talented players before. Alex knows she cannot afford to fall into that trap again. One of the biggest differences between the current Alex EALA and the player who lost previous meetings is her maturity. Earlier in her career, she often tried ending rallies too quickly. Whenever pressure increased, she sometimes forced low-percentage shots that produced unnecessary errors. Today, she's a much smarter player. Her shot selection has improved dramatically. She now understands that controlling a rally doesn't always require hitting the ball harder. Sometimes the smartest decision is simply constructing the point one shot at a time until the opening finally appears. That growth has been one of the biggest reasons behind her impressive 2026 season. Another key factor could be Alex's serve. Throughout the grass court season, her first serve has become one of her biggest weapons. Instead of relying only on power, she's mixing placement with variety. Wide serves pull opponents off the court, while body serves prevent them from taking aggressive swings. Those small tactical improvements have earned her countless free points over the last few weeks. If she maintains a high first serve percentage against Zarazúa, she'll immediately place the pressure on the Mexican veteran. However, second serves could tell a completely different story. Renata is an intelligent returner who loves attacking weaker deliveries. She doesn't always go for outright winners, but she consistently puts returns deep into the court, forcing opponents to start rallies from defensive positions. Alex must avoid giving her that opportunity. The opening service games will reveal a lot about how this match is likely to unfold. If Alex settles quickly, her confidence could grow with every game. But if Renata earns an early break, the psychological pressure could instantly shift toward the Filipina. That's why the first 20 minutes may be the most important stretch of the entire contest. Beyond the serve and the return game, perhaps the biggest battle in this match will be fought from the baseline. Both players approach rallies in completely different ways, and that contrast is exactly what makes this contest so intriguing. Alex EALA prefers to dictate the pace from the very first shot. She enjoys stepping inside the court, taking the ball early and forcing her opponents to react. Her forehand has become significantly more powerful over the last year, while her two-handed backhand remains one of the cleanest and most reliable shots in her entire arsenal. On a fast grass court, those flat ground strokes become even more dangerous because the ball stays low after the bounce and rushes through the court, giving opponents very little time to prepare. Renata Zarazúa, however, has built her career around solving problems exactly like this. She understands that trying to match Alex's power shot for shot would be a losing strategy. Instead, she focuses on disrupting rhythm. One rally may feature heavy topspin, the next a delicate slice, and then suddenly a short-angled shot that forces her opponent to move forward. Her objective isn't necessarily to hit spectacular winners. Her goal is to make every rally uncomfortable. The longer she can keep Alex from finding a consistent rhythm, the greater her chances of taking control. Another area that could play a huge role is movement. Grass courts reward players with quick reactions and precise footwork. Unlike clay, where players have extra time to recover, grass offers almost no margin for hesitation. Every step must be balanced, and every recovery movement has to be efficient. Alex has shown remarkable improvement in this department throughout the grass court season. She now changes direction more smoothly, reaches difficult balls with better balance, and recovers into position much faster than she did a year ago. Those improvements have allowed her aggressive game to flourish on this surface. Renata, though, brings years of experience. She understands how to position herself on grass, how to absorb pace, and how to force opponents into awkward hitting positions. Even when she's pushed behind the baseline, she rarely panics. Instead, she patiently waits for the right opportunity to reset the rally. That defensive discipline has frustrated many powerful hitters throughout her career, and she'll be hoping it has the same effect once again. Net play could also become an important weapon for Alex. Thanks to the doubles matches she has played over the past year, her confidence at the net has grown tremendously. Instead of staying glued to the baseline, she's now willing to move forward whenever she creates an opening. On grass, finishing points with crisp volleys is often much safer than allowing rallies to continue. If Alex can use her powerful ground strokes to push Zarazúa deep into the corners before approaching the net, she'll take away one of the Mexican's greatest strengths, her ability to extend rallies and force errors. Of course, no Wimbledon match is decided by tactics alone. Mental strength often separates winners from losers. Alex enters this contest carrying the hopes of millions of Filipino fans who believe she can make history. That support is incredibly inspiring, but it also creates enormous pressure. Every point will feel significant. Every missed opportunity will attract attention. The challenge for Alex will be staying emotionally composed regardless of what happens during the match. If she falls behind early, she cannot allow frustration to creep into her game. She must trust the aggressive style that brought her success throughout the grass court season. Renata's mindset is completely different. She arrives with very little pressure on her shoulders. Most predictions favor Alex, and that allows Zarazúa to play with freedom. Players in that position often become extremely dangerous because they have nothing to lose. If she can steal the opening set or force Alex into a long physical battle, the pressure could quickly shift toward the seeded player. As the players prepare to walk onto one of the most famous courts in tennis, everything points toward a fascinating battle of styles. One player represents the exciting future of women's tennis, armed with explosive power and growing confidence. The other represents experience, resilience, and tactical intelligence earned through years of competition. Only one of them will move forward, but regardless of the result, this opening round clash has all the ingredients to become one of the most memorable matches of Wimbledon 2026. End of Part 2, Section 2.